man. Famous cartoonist Art Balthazar. As you see, Abraham Lincoln is with me, and we are watching, and you are watching. Famous cartoonists draw at night. They draw at night, by night. We're all here together, man. Buy their comics, buy my comics, shop.
Welcome to Cartoonist by Night. I am your host, Anthony Laatsch. I am joined here by Matt Rodgers and D. Brad Gibson to celebrate, I was going to say episode 300, but that was a different show that I do, 1 year anniversary of Cartoonist by Night. Insert applause here. Yes. So welcome to the 1 year anniversary extravaganza with 3 of the 5 members that hang out, the big party. We may see Matt Fife down the road. Hopefully we'll see that on my screen here. Troy won't be with us for this episode, but we're going to truck along, and what we're going to do is one of our classic episodes where we don't talk about anything in particular. We don't draw anything particular, but I've got a bunch of questions and comments from some fans. I've got a voicemail message alert on my phone, so we'll see if that's a fan as well. And we're going to hang out, draw, celebrate, and towards the end, we're going to have a special big reveal on a Cartoonist by Night casting decision. That's going to be a tease that nobody's going to know what that means until the very end. So, how's everybody doing? Let's start with Matt Rodgers. How's it going?
I am good.
You are good. Now, in an episode celebrating 1 year of the show, you were here since the beginning. Is there anything in particular that you're going to be working on?
No, I need to adjust my camera. One sec. I need to make it so that you can actually see what I'm doing. I'm just kind of like doodling for a self-funded project today.
Okay.
So we're gonna figure some things out. Let's get myself little. Wee, bye.
You could do a Phantom Zone thing.
I want those donuts that spin.
Yeah.
Donuts.
Does like donuts.
Okay. So, in case you said it, can you repeat? Are you working on something particular or just starting with the blank page?
I'm just starting with a blank page. This is mostly just like visual brainstorming, doing character designs.
Cool. Oh yeah.
It might not go anywhere, but we'll see.
For a self-funded thing, that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
I was distracted by the voicemail and I saw the text thing, so I responded to what I needed to respond to. Those are some of the shenanigans that can happen on a 1 year anniversary show, is being distracted while the other people are talking. Okay, so let's jump over to D. Brad. Do you have anything in mind? We're obviously seeing your screen right now. What are you planning on for this episode?
Well, this is what I was doodling when in the pre-show before we start recording, and so I'll just finish off this one, and then I have a bunch of characters from a comic I want to write, and so I'll be working on them, just practicing drawing them. Two of the characters anyway. One looks like Burt Reynolds when he was in Deliverance.
Nice.
Wee.
And the other one is a girl, and she originally she was based on Brooke Shields, but I don't know if she looks like Brooke Shields anymore. But she started off that way.
Awesome.
And this guy is just my old character from who I'm gonna put in. This is a humor character and his name's Loop. And
Nice. All right. What I'm going to do, I switched to my iPad. I really like the experience of drawing digitally on the show, just having a camera on the iPad. I think it seemed to work out pretty good. And I have a little show and tell to talk about what I'm going to be drawing. So at the time of this recording, we had just gotten the next installment of the Universal Monsters series over at Image Comics, and
nice.
Dan Waters, Ron V, Matthew Roberts, and Dave Stewart contributed to the Creature from the Black Lagoon Lives, a sequel comic book story to the original movie, the first movie. And when I got these, I ordered some blank sketch cover variants.
Oh.
And I'm like, you know what? I want to, I want to commission some other people because I got multiple copies, but I also want to draw on it myself. I've only done that once with a Firefly cover before. I normally don't work on a large canvas the size of a comic book cover, since I normally work on like little sketch cards or 4x6s. But this is quite the large canvas, 4 times bigger basically. But what I'm going to do before I ever even touch that one, I'm going to do a digital sketch and do it fully complete and rendered and everything, and use that as a guide when I go in for a physical sketch down the road. Probably won't be on the show. That one I'm going to want to concentrate just in my own time. But I did need pencils ahead of time here, so I am revealing my subject matter for my eventual sketch cover, and it is He's Just Gil. I'm going to be doing the Ryan Gosling inspired Ken from Barbie pose.
Oh yeah.
There's a promo image of him with like a starburst, blue starburst behind him, and he's got his turquoise and pink open shirt on and everything. So I've got a pose. I got a little bit of a creature muscle arm going on there. So yeah, that is what I'm gonna do, and I'm going to see if this shows up on the screen, my camera, without moving anything. But right in front of me, I have this reference of a Gilman mask. So I have this on a mannequin head that's right in front of me for any reference details that I need. So
Is that something you can wear?
yeah, it is a wearable mask. I do have matching gloves / hands. And my plan, I just recently saw that you can buy leggings or like jogging pants basically that are creature skin like toned and like design. And I'm like, oh, that would be amazing. But my plan someday at a convention is to wear the mask, wear the gloves, but then cover up any other skin, and just like it would be like a Hawaiian shirt Gilman or like a business suit Gilman, and walk around with a suitcase or something like that, and without having to commit to like a full body costume that would probably get pretty warm. So
Have you ever gone to a convention dressed up as a character?
I have. A couple times I've done some Malcolm Reynolds from Firefly,
Yeah.
Nathan Fillion. I have done Nathan Fillion as Captain Hammer from Dr. Horrible's Sing Along blog. I've done Nathan Fillion from Castle, Nathan Fillion from wait, no, I didn't do those other ones, but I did do Dr. Hammer, Captain Hammer, and Mal. So I did those, and also Indiana Jones.
Oh, very good.
I 2 separate years for Indiana Jones, where the first year it was just myself kind of cosplaying, walking around, and didn't have too many people asking for pictures. It wasn't the best costume, but the following year I went again as Indiana Jones, but I brought a friend along, and she went as Laura Croft, and it was a great combo of having Indiana Jones and Laura Croft together. And suddenly people wanted pictures of our costumes, and I demanded, like, well, I have to be in the photo too, so I know why they said
You're cropped out.
yeah. I'm like, this is only happening if I need some redemption from the previous year when nobody cared. So suddenly they cared when Laura Croft was in the house. So, but yeah. Anyways, how about you guys? Any convention cosplaying?
No.
No.
Only
don't,
Halloween. Only Halloween.
I don't like that much attention. So I admire the people that can do that and are okay with everybody wanting that.
Sure.
I have a thing where so I genuinely like Power Girl. I think that the character is awesome. It's not just because of the boob window.
Yeah.
And I like to get my picture taken with Power Girl cosplayers. It's like a little collection of mine, but now it comes off as super perverted, and that kind of sucks.
Sure.
It's like, come on, man, I just like Power Girl.
Yeah. I think I have her first appearance.
Ooh.
Because my first superhero comic group that I collected was the Justice Society from the 70s. And
Okay.
I think I must have it because I have all those.
She's awesome. Remember when she had the suit redesign and it was like the weird white suit with the P in the corner? It was like a Robin emblem, kind of.
Right, yeah.
It was fun time. Fun times.
I do not remember that.
No.
It didn't last very long.
No.
Too many people are like, I want to see the boob window.
Now, D. Brad had mentioned about, Halloween and stuff. Is there a go-to Halloween costume that was like a favorite that you remember that just stands out right away?
For me. Oh, well, when I was a kid, I was dressed up as a clown. But that was before clowns were scary. They weren't not it's just because it was easy to dress up as. But I have dressed as Indiana Jones.
Okay, cool.
But since I had kids in the early years when we took them trick or treating, we had like a theme for how we would dress up, and so we did the Flintstones one year. We did there's four of us, so we did I think we did Wizard of Oz. We did Little Red Riding Hood theme, Star Wars. I'm sure there's more, but yeah, every year we do it like Scooby Doo. That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ruh-roh, Raggy. Ruh-roh, re-rad.
He was rad once, now he is rad a second time. Therefore, he is re-rad.
Re-rad. Re-rad.
No, the re-rad was the name of his childhood sled.
Yeah. I can't think of another thing to go off of that, so I think that's a good one to end that.
I'm the winner.
You won. Thank you for joining us, everybody. That is our 1-year anniversary episode. We've claimed a winner. Thank you for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye. Matt Rodgers, Halloween costumes. Oh, wait, now I do know that I think you've said it before that you're not huge on Halloween. Is that more of adult life thing, or did you have any Halloween costumes that you from the childhood?
Yeah, it's a grown-up thing. I'm just not into it now. But when I was a kid, let's see, I dressed up as Robin.
You dressed up as your wife?
Yeah, it was weird. No, it was actually a pair of pajamas with like a little Velcro cape. And it was like Robin's red, yellow, and green and black suit. And then I had like a Lone Ranger mask that I wore. And then dressed up as a cowboy with a fake mustache once. And this will be a good sign of the times. I dressed up as a hobo.
Yes, that was yes.
That's a classic.
My 5 o'clock shadow, they just spread cigar ashes all over my face.
Well, I'll tell you mine too when you're done with yours, because I have a similar story. Yeah, that's a classic.
Let's see, what else did I dress up as? I dressed up as Boomer Esiason for the Cincinnati Bengals once.
I was thinking, like, what kind of He-Man character is that? I didn't really watch him, but okay, it was a sports thing, so.
Yeah, and it's weird because I was never really like a sports guy.
My go-to, the ones that I remember, going as a classic mummy, but being wrapped from head to toe in toilet paper, and
Awesome.
I just remember that stuff just like constantly like falling off me like 10 minutes outside the house, just gotta wait, got to the next block over and I'm just trying to like keep that tucked in and everything and just looking like I'm walking out of a bathroom constantly, basically with toilet paper stringing behind me. Um, but as Matt Rodgers mentioned, a hobo was also one of the costumes, and I know I have some photos of it of that or yet, but when it comes to putting on the beard and the 5 o'clock shadow, I remember we were taking a cork from a bottle and we would just light it on fire and then use the burnt cork. And after it cooled down,
We learned that the hard way.
and then I went as Freddy Krueger the next,
With no choice.
yeah, yeah, it was just the default costume. I had the sweater and everything, but no, yeah, I remember that it was just like burning a cork, letting it cool down, and then. But I do remember that being, a little bit of heat on the face cheek there with applying that stuff. But you got to do what you got to do for the craft. But yeah, that is those are some of the highlights for me. I'm sure I had some other ones too but those are the two that I really dug. All right, so I'm going to jump over to. We do have some questions. I reached out on the social medias for anybody watching. Mostly, I do it through the Cartoonist by Night Instagram stories. I seem to get more responses there than when I did traditional post back when we started the show. But I did throw one on a Facebook post too, so that way anybody who follows us on those two channels at least had a way. But if you don't see anything on Instagram, check those stories. That's when we usually reach out for that. So the first person that responded to us here, I said 1 year anniversary recording. Any questions? And we got one from Lavi, past guest on the show. Our friend Lavi
right.
from Deck Kingdom. She Lavi underscore HQ. How do you guys get to be so awesome? So let's start with Matt Rodgers. Now, how did we're not talking about you, how did we collectively, Rodgers, in your point of view, get so awesome?
Oh, I was unprepared for the question. This will be an inside joke that she will get. Well, I didn't do it by accidentally trying to video call somebody.
Ah,
She'll think that's funny.
so I'm
That
guessing
guy commented on one of her things, and she was like, "Oh my God, I didn't mean to video call you." It was great.
pulling a D Brad there. You did that recently too, I think.
I did, yeah. Sometimes like it's just like putting something in my back pocket. I end up calling things. One time I did a Facebook Live of my ceiling.
Of a Facebook Live at the premiere of Thor Ragnarok, and then you screened the first 10 minutes for everybody. Oh wait, that was Ruffalo that did that.
Oh, did he?
He did, yeah. Because I remember that came up and he went live and tens of thousands of people were watching it and it was darkness because the phone was in his pocket because he was taking pictures on the stage when they
Oh,
introduced the cast beforehand and then everybody for the Halloween screening, the Hollywood screening, and
yeah.
everybody was there and he sat down and then apparently he didn't stop live streaming when he went out on stage and then he kept getting buzzes in his pocket but he's like he had everything silenced and everything but it kept vibrating. It was kind of distracting. You could still hear and feel the vibrations and everything and he just saw all these people just like trying to get a hold of him, be like, Mark, you were Instagram living the opening of Ragnarok a week before it comes out, and then and then it just became a funny thing that we are now referencing like 6 years later on Cartoonist by Night.
That entire cast of people were so bad at
At
secrets.
keeping secrets, yeah.
Oh,
Like, they're all
I'm
so
like-
terrible at it.
I'm like,
Especially
oh.
Tom Holland, man. Tom Holland's like the worst.
Yeah. I was
Oh.
hoping that you were gonna finish that sentence because you're like, that whole cast is so bad, and I'm like, wait, what are you getting at here?
I could have done way better.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to be an uber fan of the MCU, but man, that's a pretty wild take right there. On our 1 year anniversary of all episodes. Everybody in Beverly, Massachusetts, and Beverly D. Brad Gibson is watching the show right now. Beverly, bevcam.org. So shout out to everybody at bevcam.org. We're going to wait until we get somebody. If you are watching this on the Beverly, Massachusetts public access television, reach out to us. We're waiting to hear back from some people from Beverly, but we heard from another Beverly, D. Brad's mother-in-law, and she continues to comment on the videos, and I think it's very sweet, and we appreciate it.
All right.
I think that Beverly should get together and they should throw Bev Fest, and we should be guests there.
Ooh,
We could do a live episode.
that would be amazing. I'm all for that.
Is Beverly there, D. Brad?
No, she's
Oh.
not. She's close by.
Nice. She's in all of our hearts all the time.
She was here today, but
I knew it.
And then,
anyways, how did we all get to be so awesome?
yes.
I think it just happened, man.
Pretty
Like,
natural.
we started off awesome, and then we got more awesome as it went. Is that a good answer?
I think it's a good answer.
What do you
Good
guys
answer.
think? How did we get to be so? I think, well, we really got more awesome when D Brad showed up full time.
what?
I call him D Rad.
I used to have a hat that said Rad Brad's.
Ooh.
It was a surf shop.
I was gonna say we should jump on that and sell them in the Cartoonist by Night store that doesn't exist
Yeah,
yet.
the high octane life of Canadian surfing.
Yeah.
That's all. Well, you do live on an island, so I
Cold.
guess
It's cold surfing, but you wear a wetsuit.
yeah, we call it sledding here in North America. Wait, you're in North America. In the United States, sledding.
Yeah.
Sledding. We have that too. Oh, we call it tobogganing.
See, we call hats toboggans here.
I know that, yeah.
We're so dumb.
It's because you got it. Maybe you shortened it from tobogganing hats.
Maybe we are experts in shortening stuff. It's like somebody that I listened to, they went to Canada for something on a podcast, and they were talking about how their minds were blown. They were like, oh my gosh, gas is so cheap here. And then they realized that it was priced by the liter.
Yeah, it's not cheap here.
It's not cheap at all. Because, in the United States, we have to have our imperial measuring systems.
That's right.
So what if the rest of the world does everything in multiples of 10?
D. Brad, do you know how it is that we collectively have become so awesome?
Well, you take one awesome, you add a second awesome, and you got double awesome.
Ooh.
Then you add a third awesome,
Yeah.
you get triple. And you add a fourth, you get quadruple. Then you add a fifth, and you get what? Quintuple?
Sure.
So it's just 5 times awesome.
There you go. It's a lot of math, but I'm not gonna check your work. And if I were to think, I know exactly how we've become so awesome. It's because of all the awesome community and the energy that came from Oh Yeah Comics through Art and Franco and Scoot and the rest. Oh Yeah Comics, which is why this Cartoonist by Night exists, with all of us being fans of them and coming together and knowing each other online. So yeah, I think that's why. It's because of the Art and Franco energy that they've put out there for several decades now collectively.
Oh, and it's Future Anthony. Future Anthony helps.
Oh yeah. Makes
Yeah.
it all look better, yes. Even present / past Anthony.
No, not him.
Oh no.
That guy sucks. Just
Yeah,
kidding.
he is a jerk.
What
You
a
know,
Hey,
quack.
hey, wait.
the two
That's you.
the two biggest jerks in comics, Professor Xavier and Future Anthony.
Yeah.
Why is he such a jerk, that Mr. X guy?
I forget what, because there's the classic panel of Kitty Pryde, pointing, Professor Xavier, you're a jerk, and
That's right.
I don't recall what the context was on that, but
Yeah, I'll have to look it up.
but yeah, and she had one other thing to add on to that message, and she just goes, and congrats. So thank you, Lavi. She congratulating us on 1,000 years of this podcast so far.
All right.
Cool,
1,000.
cool. And
Thousand.
yeah, I think we have, I want to say 23, or this might be the 23rd video. I think
yeah?
there's 22 out there, this being the 23rd that we've done, and it would be slightly over a year by the time this will come out. But yeah, it's been pretty fun going through and kind of, I know myself, I started with an iPad drawing, drawing on the iPad, and then I started getting into physical drawing over summer of 2023, and then I did that for the longest time, and now here I am on the iPad again. But it's been fun. And actually, you know what? That is a great segue, because Lavi had a second comment / question, and it actually,
Gosh, how much attention does this girl need?
I know, right? Just enough already.
We said one question apiece. Jeez.
Yeah, when I said any questions, plural, that just meant, for everybody to have one question apiece. I'm not asking for multiples here. I do have to find the screen grab for it.
Oh, wait. Was it still part of the first question? Because sometimes people get away with having multiple questions in one question.
It
I have a
was
question, but it's a two-parter.
Yes.
threefold, please. Oh, this was the second one, because I put up a couple different prompts. I will do it through the Cartoonist by Night channel, and then I'll do it through my pages and stuff too.
Okay, I'll allow it. That's
Okay.
a good poll.
So Lavi goes, I asked for any future topic, like episode topics, but I think this is actually good just for discussion in general. Digital versus traditional art, likes and dislikes from each of the cast. So digital versus traditional art. Let's kick it over to Matt Rodgers. Your kind of likes and dislikes on, because you've worked in both. So let's hear it.
All right. We'll start with traditional likes. It feels better to draw on paper than it does on glass. You have a physical product that if you get to the point, you can sell it at a later point. You can do artist editions at a later point with that kind of stuff. I feel like it's more of a craft when you use physical media to make something. The bad parts about it are using rulers really sucks, and so gridding out panels is like one of the most mind-numbingly boring things known to man. Messing up sucks, because then you have to put another layer of something on it. I use Copic white. It's like whiteout but a paint. And supplies are expensive, so I have a pen addiction, and it adds up over time. Digital, the good thing about digital is it's faster. You have Control Z, so you can redraw the same line 50,000 times until you have it perfect. Like it's just it expediates. Is that a word? It makes everything faster. There we go. The bad part about that is it's also expensive. If you have a tablet, like I have a drawing screen, the Wacom that I use, those are not cheap. You have to pay for software to use most of the time. Fonts are expensive. And the really bad part about digital drawing is that I feel, here's my controversial take. I feel like you have less of a motivation to become technically better as an artist if you constantly have the crutch of undo
Mm.
Oh yeah.
to fall back on.
Yeah.
What do you guys think?
D. Brad, let's jump over to you.
All right. Well, I prefer drawing on paper, but then I scan it into the, and I usually do the inking in digital, and then the coloring. But yeah, I find it kind of hard still to draw on it, like just draw. I can kind, I'm getting there with it, but I still like the feel of paper, drawing on paper. But the thing that's neat about, I think if you're doing digital, I think it works really well for making comics because there's like that deadline, right? And so you can get things done a lot quicker. And what's kind of neat is if you put something in a frame and it doesn't look quite right, you can cut out and resize and make the panel look better. Yeah, well, yeah, coloring can be too easy. That's for sure.
Yeah.
And so I have been experimenting with like doing like watercolor, where you have to, where you actually have to manually color,
Mhm.
and rather than just click on something and it fills it. Because I didn't use the, yeah, I didn't like the way digital coloring looked, but now it looks like you can make it look so much like actual pencil.
Yeah.
It looks like
Yeah.
actual. You can make the paper look like it's actually on paper. You can.
Yeah, like I bought from, who is it that does these color
Yeah.
work? It's either Retro Supply Company or True Grit Texture Supply, but it's like a full set of Copic markers
Oh yeah.
that do, like, let's get zoomed in on this. Like it has a paper texture automatically built in. It's
Yeah, I
pressure
like that.
sensitive, and you can
Yeah.
go dark, and then you can
Nice.
like use
Yeah.
it. And if I
Yeah.
want to put blue on it, then it layers and it has the nice purples.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like I have a ton of them. Like there's a dry version of the brush, so you can get those like scuffy lines.
Yeah.
But the weird thing with those is like I couldn't imagine using those having never used an actual physical Copic marker.
Oh
Like you
yeah.
kind of know how they work to
Sure.
use
Yeah.
the digital version.
That definitely makes a difference. Like I do know how to do watercolor, so that's why I probably most of the time use watercolor and blend with the watercolor when I'm coloring, or I just do the fill. And then it's kind of neat to be able to put in the shadow. Um, but I think I like traditional and digital. They they're both wonderful. I use them both.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it definitely pays off to be able to do it traditionally. I think it's hard. I don't know how easy it is to go from if you've only drawn digital. What's it like to go to traditional after that? If you've never done, everybody must. We're not at the generation yet where people have never done traditional art. You think? Not yet.
Yeah, it's
Anthony would be the closest one.
Yeah.
so, because every time I've drawn up until maybe like 2015 was all
Yeah.
physical, and then I
Yeah.
had free Sketchpad programs and stuff, and
Right.
I'm like, oh hey, this is cool. And I used to play around with we talked about Microsoft Paint in our unrecorded segment, but I remember just doing so much of my stuff on there, like when people were using Photoshop and stuff, and I was doing Photoshop like things, but they're like, oh, that's pretty cool. What program you use? I'm like, Paint. I just use Paint, and um, but yeah, really starting to see. I really got a hang of the. I really love the coloring of digital, just for my own, just for the brightness, and my skill level for physical coloring wasn't that impressive, and it's still, not terribly great. I'll still just love the 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 kind of colors I can get with
Mhm.
digital. But when I started taking it a little more seriously, Art was doing his live stream episodes slightly before 2020. He'd started doing some of his shows, and then doing a lot of the drawing stuff, and then that's when I started picking up the digital stuff even more. And but then
Mhm.
going to conventions and seeing people selling sketch cards, trading card size. Original sketches, and I really love seeing those, because I guess, I don't know if my eyes weren't open in the past years, but I just started seeing a lot more within the last couple of years. And so rather than committing to, like, oh, I can't buy a $75 piece from every single person, but oh cool, they have a $5 sketch card, they got a $10 one, even some are at 15 or 20, depending on you know their level of expertise. And so I started collecting those, and that's when I started playing around, being like, oh, I like the idea of drawing on a small canvas. So then I did physical for a long time. Um, but then once again, I'm just going back and forth between both of the mediums, and likes and dislikes. Mostly everything that you guys already said already, but setting up my own tables. I've had a lot of fun creating a little art card and selling those little buggers. Just being like, all right, here's a bunch of things that I drew for fun. I put them in a binder, and some people like them, and they buy them. I'm like, oh, that's pretty cool. And
Yeah.
and then whenever I do anything that I wanted to make for prints and for other projects, for things, whether it be, like the Happy Astronaut pinup, things that was doing for the show, um, I just like my digital results way better because of all those tools, for which can get annoying, of being like, well, I'm going to draw this for the 20th time now. Now it's perfect. Um, but I think with me, I love having that as a backup option. But um, at the same time, I still love the traditional aspect of committing to certain lines, and having certain ways to get yourself out of it if you make any mistakes. But um, yeah, trying to think of anything else I can add that was different than you guys, but basically agreeing to the likes and dislikes that you guys said.
One thing about Art Baltazar, I've watched streams of him working digitally, and as a fellow, like, primarily digital artist, I don't understand that guy's process whatsoever.
Oh,
Like,
with all the different colored lines?
yeah, I'm just like, what's this guy doing? How does that turn into what he's doing? What is he? Because I know that he draws primarily he uses an old version of Clip Studio from when it was still called Manga Studio,
Yeah.
but then he like takes it into Photoshop to finish it.
That's right. Yeah.
And I don't, it's all mind blowing to me. Like, it just looks like a complete mess when he's working on it. It's just like a bowl of spaghetti noodles with all the art. And
Yeah.
then suddenly it looks like Dr. Seuss. It's weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, like watching
Yeah,
him do that.
he draws it all rough, and then it's almost like it's his thumbnails blown up,
Yeah.
and then he inks it clean, and he's not tracing over the sketch lines. He's drawing brand new, but he's using the sketch lines as reference.
Yeah, but then he'll do it and like this guy's outline is pink just for his hair, but then his
Yeah.
eyeballs are green, but
That's
that's
right.
not the final color. Like it's just so weird to me.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask him about it once and then I didn't because I was like, this is probably a question that he gets all the time.
Well,
It's like Art Baltazar's equivalent of what pen is that?
What pen is that?
What pen do you use?
that
What
might be
pen?
a good question to hold on to when he eventually is on the show. We've tried booking him a couple times, just trying to get the schedule. But you had mentioned Cat in the Hat, and which is out. It's been out for a week at the time people will be watching this episode.
Oh.
But yeah, go check it out. Dr. Seuss, Cat in the Hat graphic novel. Cat Out of Water, I think is the.
Yeah. Yeah.
I have it. I have a little card from him nearby, so let me get that just for so that way future Anthony can take a little break for the hundredth episode. I keep saying it for the 1 year anniversary.
How many episodes has it been?
This will be the 23rd, I think. So, but yeah, so yeah, here we go. This was a New York Comic Con exclusive, or a order something from Art, and he had some left over, and then he'll throw it in. But yeah, so this was. Oh, it doesn't have the title on there, so we're just gonna have to go with Cat Out of Water. I think it was right.
It is, yeah.
So yeah,
I watched a video of an interview with him today, so that's what he said.
yeah, I had the pleasure of selling some of those books myself. Let's transition into. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna see if we got a message from Fife here at all, because he's part of the conversation too. He's asking us, how about you guys chatter for a little bit? I gotta respond to Fife here.
Okay. One thing I can talk about my Burt Reynolds guy is based on.
Yeah, I recognize him.
Yeah, so it's kind of, I thought, like, I was always making my characters kind of have the same face, and so I thought, well, I'm gonna like look up celebrities and try to draw them, and then kind of draw them from memory, because once you draw them from memory, then you go away from them, and they become a different character. But definitely this one, the middle one, really shows the Burt Reynolds from Deliverance and The Longest Yard.
There you go.
Yeah, I was trying to remember the name of that movie. The
Longest Yard. Yeah.
That's from his pre-mustache and beard days.
That's right. Yeah. I I did write him a letter once too. Got an autograph from him.
That's awesome.
Yeah, back when autographs were free.
Yeah. Wait a minute, people will pay us for these?
Yeah.
Like
I think the first time I got charged for an autograph, I was trying to. It's like early days of the internet, I guess. But I could find all these addresses to contact them, and then also they did a lot of movies and TV in Vancouver, so I'd find out the office that they were at, and usually I'd send them a picture to sign, and then an envelope so they could send it back, so make it really easy for them.
There you go.
And online I found Sheriff Roscoe from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh, get those boys, cuff them and stuff them.
Yeah, he only charged $5. Like, okay, I can afford that. That's not bad. And then so I got his, and then the other one who was charging on his website was Adam West. But instead, I just found his address, and I bought a postcard at a comic shop, and then I sent him to it and said, I can't really afford to buy things right now, and so would you sign this for me? And he did. Sent it back.
Awesome, man. Brad's the man. That could be the hat. You know, you had Brad is rad, but just D Brad is D man.
D man.
Since we had checked in on your drawings, that's a good segue into checking with everybody. So, Matt Rodgers, talk us through what we're seeing here.
It's got some headshot sketches. I got this bald man that looks too much like Mr. Clean at the moment. And we got this guy here with his purple hair and his mullet. And we
Awesome.
got this tough bruiser guy with a missing tooth.
You're making a wrestling cartoon.
I'm throwing together ideas for they're going to be like 8-page mini comics. They're going to be manga sized,
Oh yeah.
black and white books, and each book is just going to be a wrestling match.
Oh, fun.
So it'll be a neat way to like learn how to draw better action shots, use more dynamic camera angles, plus just be able to kind of build ridiculous characters.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see here. I started work on a cover for it. And I'm doing the covers are going to look like old like boxing cards.
Oh, fun.
And this is
So-
stuff we're keeping in the episode.
Yeah, it's fine. So I got this is the cover. The book's going to be called Body Slams.
Oh, nice.
And these aren't their real names, but it says first name, last name versus first name, last name.
Nice.
But yeah, that's what I'm fiddling with. And then the back cover is going to be like characters shots, and then at the bottom we'll have the current heavyweight champion of my fake wrestling league.
Nice.
I figured it'll be a fun side project to learn how to do some stuff.
That sounds fun. Yeah.
Very cool. Finish up a little cuff sleeve here, and then I'll show my He's Just Gil. So this is where I'm at so far. Let me sometimes when I hold it up here, get a little better angle. So yeah, this is where I'm at so far. I think I'm going to do a lot more of my details when it comes to the creature. I was going to say mask because I'm looking at the mask, but not Jim Carrey the mask, but you know what I mean.
Oh yeah.
Somebody stop me if I go too long here. That's a spicy meatball. All right. Anyways, just throwing out mask quotes for everybody. Everybody's watching at home. This is great stuff.
I remember that commercial.
So yeah, I think a lot of my details and stuff is going to come in the coloring stage once I start laying down some colors and then start going in with more ink details and such. But yeah, this is where I'm at so far. And talking about the digital versus physical, people probably seen me attempt a lot of these chin lines, which I now just erased one of them by mistake. Chin lines and just like above the nose and between the eyes. I tried doing so much of it just with my own natural drawing motion and just could not get it. And then I would just do that thing where I just, where I draw my line, I hold it, wait for the art to pop up, and then I can edit a little bit here and there. But I usually try to get the lines by myself for the first time. But yeah, I was having some problems with that one there. But
How dare you?
that's the Gil man at the He's Just Gil so far. But yeah, for the coloring, I want to get it. I want to work with a lot of kind of pastel type colors, glittery colors and stuff, and try to really make it stand out as a Barbie Ken thing beyond just the pose. But anyways, I see when
I
it's
saw a really neat video on how to do a color palette really well. I think it's on my YouTube saved. I gotta find it. It's really neat on how to choose a particular palette for your colors.
There's some websites you can go to that are free that let you like you can pick one color that you want for like the base, and it'll build you a ton of different palettes based on that one color. It'll give you like complementary palettes, or it'll give you like
perfect.
that kind of stuff. I use it for like logo stuff,
Oh yeah.
but then I don't have any complicated logos, so it's fun. Good intentions and all that.
Yep.
Going back to our questions, asking if anybody had any. My brother Adam, who often chimes in with the show here, very serious question. I know we kind of try to, throw in some serious and some fun ones, but this is going to be a real serious one. Are you going to
Okay.
have a nice dinner together for your anniversary?
Yeah, we are. Yeah.
Now, is this when we reveal to everybody that we actually record in the same room, that we meet up just in a agreed upon country, a different country every episode, and it's just easier to show our screens with separate laptops and computer screens and such. So yeah, we actually did have some dinner. If we were all to get dinner, what do you think we're all kind of agreeing on? Is there a go-to thing? I mean, pizza's pretty like universal. Uh,
Yep.
I mean, you'd
I
probably
don't.
want something weird.
I don't even like for pizza though. Nowadays, I don't go out for pizza.
you know,
I get I bring it home, or we do homemade now. Yeah,
you get
but yeah,
like moose sausage pizza.
moose sauce. I don't think I've ever had moose.
Gets yeah, gets maple pizza, maple syrup pizza.
Maple? Yeah, yeah. We got usually it's
Mm,
maple bacon though.
Oh, okay.
this pizza is gamey.
Yeah, deer, elk.
Yeah, I like pizza.
I love pizza.
Tonight I had Mexican from a local place that's the best Mexican restaurant I've ever eaten at.
Oh yeah. What makes it the
Called,
best?
oh man, they're just so good. I don't even know how to explain why they're so good.
Yeah. Do you like it
Like,
really hot? How hot do you like it?
well, they have like these little, they're like maybe 1/3 to half the size of a shot glass, and they just fill it with this red sauce, and they also have a green sauce, and they're really
Oh,
hot, and so it's like you dip every bite in it. If you eat in, they have them in giant squirt bottles at the table, so you can just douse every bite.
nice.
But then I get a cheese quesadilla from there.
Yeah.
This thing is like two 16-inch flour tortillas. Like
Right.
when they give it to you, when you get home, you open the container and it's folded up 3 times to fit in the box. They're so huge.
Wow.
They're the best.
What's
I
it
love
called?
the place is called Hector's.
Hector's. Okay, so it's like an independent place.
Yeah. Yeah. Local only.
Nice.
You know, when you say Hector, there was one image that popped in my head, and future Anthony will put the image up on the screen. But being a big fan of Where's Waldo, I remember there was like a Where's Hector or Find Hector. Does anyone remember that? I don't know if it
No.
like just like a somebody's take on it, being like, all right, we got to get in on this Waldo craze. But I remember there being a let me see if I can bring up an image here too. But I remember having it just because I was big into the
Hector.
Waldo books. So I'm just like, I'll try to find anybody.
Now I had ones that were
Okay.
like they were like Halloween ripoffs, and it was like called Find Freddy, and it would be the same thing, but it was like a little Frankenstein that you had to find, and then there was one that was like a girl witch.
Ah,
Oh,
I don't know why they called it Freddy.
okay, here we go. It was Hunt for Hector.
Hunt. Ooh.
Oh,
That's most
And then
dangerous game.
let me zoom in on. Oh, hold on. There's Hector up there in a little.
Oh,
a little
see a dog?
dog.
Yeah, yeah. We'll see a better image when I in future Anthony will put a better image up there. But yeah, it says Hunt for Hector, and then in a Starburst balloon it says and hundreds of other things. Because yeah, kind of like in the Waldo book too, where you would just have a checklist in the back, and then you'd be able to like, all right, now find a saxophone. That was
Right.
the first item I could think of. But
Yeah, they got more ridiculous as time went on. It's like in the first one, you had to find him and like whatever piece of equipment he was missing.
yeah, his bag,
Then
his
it was like,
cane, his shoe, his
now
sock.
you need to find the wizard and Oddlaw and Wanda and a book and the dog and a scroll. And do you
The
remember
dog.
when Waldo was on Life cereal boxes?
Oh yeah, and Spaghettios.
Oh,
Was he on SpaghettiOs?
Yeah, he had his own SpaghettiOs.
oh. And did you have to find the one noodle that looks like him?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember that if how difficult that was. My SpaghettiOs got really cold after a while after heating them up, because I just kept trying to find Waldo in them, and then all of a sudden I
Yeah.
realized it was just a normal can of SpaghettiOs.
Yeah, I like to spell words with my SpaghettiOs, like
Ooh.
oh or ooh,
Oh,
or it could
that's
be like ooh.
Uh, but anyways, what were we
hey,
talking about?
where's
Oh
Waldo?
yeah, dinner for the anniversary.
Oh yeah,
So
anniversary dinner.
that's why, honestly, that's why I appreciate questions of all kinds. Like doesn't matter what they are because it's just gonna, you know, spawn off into other conversation and stuff. So
Yeah.
What we need to do is we need to come out with Cartoonist by Night trading cards so that your brother can shred them up into smithereens and make a cool art piece out of it.
what? That's a great plug for. I believe it's on an official website now, so I'm gonna get that to save future Anthony some time. If you go to latchstacks.com, so
Mhm.
LAATSCH stacks.com, you'll also see the information up on the video here. But yeah, my brother he repurposes cards by cutting them up to create original art. Yeah, so that is actually an excellent plug and segue that I thank you very much for setting that up.
He doesn't only cut up trading cards into art pieces, he does an amazing job. Like those things are outstanding.
Yeah, people are seeing the pictures right now in post. But yeah, those yeah, they're pretty great. I remember just like looking at them and just kind of just sitting there just being like, wait a minute, what did you do? And then I'm just like looking close, and if you look at like the fingertips of like one of the basketball players he did, and you see the fingertips, and it's a bunch of like that player's face, like as the fingertips and stuff.
You should do a Macho Man Randy Savage one because that dude played for like the Reds and the St. Louis Cardinals before he was a wrestler.
Ooh,
Oh, really?
yeah, baseball, seventh inning stretch.
The cream of the crop.
Peanuts and Cracker Jack. Dig it. I don't
It's
know.
one, yeah. Two, oh yeah. Three strikes, you're out.
Oh yeah, Miss Elizabeth throwing out the first pitch.
Ooh,
And
and I am the undisputed world champion. Oh yeah.
snap into a Cracker Jack.
Oh man, I love
Uh,
it.
so yeah, I think we answered that question. Uh,
Dinner,
yep, the dinner
pizza.
question. Hot Wing of Justice, Brian Lynch over at Hot Wing of Justice, he goes, what was your favorite topic or topics to discuss? So we had done several episodes throughout the show, and to remind some people, I'm just going to queue up the list here in just 1 second, and I can. So when we started a year ago, since we all met through Oh Yeah Comics fandom, that was our very first episode, a topic that we will very much have to revisit because we just mostly talked about just the overall kind of origin, getting together and everything. So there's always more to talk about with Oh Yeah Comics. So we've done Oh Yeah Comics. We've done
Mhm.
some random episodes where we just what we're doing now. But we had Ninja Turtles. We had Happy Astronaut to celebrate the first issue from Keen Spot.
Mhm.
We had a Jack Kirby episode.
Mhm.
We had going through the list here, a lot of random ones at first, and then once we started getting some guests, starting with Franco, we talked about Star Wars. We had Cartoon Ducks with D. Brad Gibson. We
Hey, I
had
know that guy.
we had the Muppets with Brian Lynch. We've had it says Cocoa Puffs with Alejandro, but we weren't talking about that was check out the
I
episode.
would like to. I would like to talk about cereal mascots sometime.
That is definitely, yeah, that is definitely on the menu, if you will. Batman the Animated Series with Scoot McMahon, Disney Villains with Lavi, Newspaper Comics, our most recent episode with Kevin Wolf from Happy Wolf Art. So that's just a quick refresher course. Let's start with Matt Rodgers. Was there a favorite or favorites that jumped out to mind out of our discussion episodes?
I was a big fan of um see, I never remember the topics. I usually remember the people
Hmm.
more. Um I really liked having Franco on, was fun. Really liked having Brian on. That was super fun. Scoot was fun. Alejandro was fun. It's like, man, uh,
Adam Crone.
oh man, love Adam Crone.
I didn't mention him in the lineup because we didn't have a specific one there. So I just stopped on Cocoa Puffs because I saw it. But Adam Crone was a guest in
I love Adam. I'm voting for Adam Crone to be our first repeat.
heck yeah.
I love that guy. But he's all substitute teaching stuff now. He's probably a busy guy. Hit us up, Adam Crone.
His YouTube channel. We're gonna plug his stuff later because I do have a segment towards the end. Um, but yeah, anything that well, you said the guest there. So is that your final answer?
I mean, I like every single, there was never an episode where I was just like, good God, I should have bailed on this one. Yes. But they're all fun. I like meeting the people that I've never talked to before. Like having Lavi on was super fun. She was very giggly. She's
Yes.
a very happy individual. And that's always awesome because people aren't privy to our private conversations, but a lot of times one of us who's wearing a bright red shirt today is not usually the happiest guy in the world. He can be a real big grump. Just saying.
And
But
Future Anthony tries to edit that out of the conversation, but I don't have the same magical powers as I do here on this very show.
it's all good. But yeah, man, I like every episode's been super awesome. You know, the only part of some of them that I don't like is I would imagine that every artist probably has this to a degree, but I hate it when the day of recording comes and it's just like I try to draw something and I'm just like, not happening today.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like you just have like I always equate it to like writer's block. It's just like every time I touch the paper with this pencil, nothing good is happening. So I'm just gonna put it down and lay on the couch depressed.
Oh no.
Things
As
got
I
dark real quick.
as a deadline is staring me in the face. I'm just like, ugh. I'll have to do twice as much next time.
Yeah, a lot of times going into a show, like especially for like a random, even if we have a topic, trying to think like, all right, what's my take? Because I always have my pencils ahead of time. I don't think I'd be able to get much done if I started with a blank page. Hopefully, something I get better with. But um, I usually think about it for quite some time, and then it's usually the day before when it just kind of like with the deadline and the pressure, where all of a sudden I'm just like, oh yeah, that's going to be it. And I looked at the creature covers, just being like, oh, maybe I should attempt a creature cover, but I'm like, I need to like concentrate and I need to be in my own headspace for that thing. But then I'm like, well, I could kind of prepare for that by doing a digital version and then use that as my guide when I have to commit to physical and not hit the undo button when I do the cover. But I think there was a point in there somewhere.
You are the best. That's all.
I just sent you a PayPal payment for saying that. Thank you very much.
Is it bigger than the last one?
Yeah, I have to. I know I started big, and I know there's an expectation, but just check your email.
Okay. Okay.
D. Brad, was there a topic of discussion, whether it was watching as a fan or when you started to guest star on this very show?
Yeah, I love when it's a topic I love, and it's always so far I've always been able to connect with the topic. I haven't had a topic yet that I haven't had some kind of connection with, so that's always fun. But if you go for an episode that I wasn't in when I was just watching it, I found it was an episode with just you two.
Okay.
And you were doing Rolf impressions for a lot of it.
Yeah. Okay.
It was so fun. I thought that was, to me, that's like a really funny episode just to listen to.
There were a couple of them there. Me and Rogers like had. I think we had a couple of the solo shows that just based on the scheduling and probably, well, not probably, but you and I are probably the ones with the. I said probably again, are the ones with more free time, I guess is the best way to say it. Like you would definitely have a lot of obligations. I have the least obligations out of everybody and things like that, but there's a lot of times when we're just hanging out and drawing anyways, and then it's just we did a couple too that weren't even recorded, just being like yeah, we're just chilling, let's just hop on Zoom and just hang out.
And I think 90% of those were also doing Rolf impressions. All right.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Well, it's getting pretty late. I'm gonna go take myself for a walk, come home, and go to bed.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's a great transition into, and it's not just because Brian Lynch asked the question, but I love the Muppets and that Muppets episode, because when I went through the art and I tried pulling, art for everybody, just being like, okay, if you've drawn something Muppet related, I tried pulling everything from Brian Lynch's catalog that was Muppets related, and I think I had like 25 images or something where I'm just like, wow, I should start drawing more things than Muppets. And after that realization, I'm just like, okay, it's Muppets and Archie is like the most of my catalog. And then after that episode, I had a convention pretty close after that, I think. And then that is all that people were commenting on. It's just like that they love that stuff. And then I'm just like, okay, maybe there's a reason why I just keep doing that, because it's fun, and also people dig it. So, but yeah, Muppets is my favorite out of all of them, just for as great as Archie is, because we had the Archie episode as well, and all of them are great in that sense, because that's why we did them. But Muppets for me, that took the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I love that Brian Lynch guy. He has a pinup in Happy Astronaut #5.
Ooh.
I could probably. Yep.
By the time this comes out, I believe Happy will be out, because it comes out May 8th.
Okay, so yeah. And I have a copy, and this will be out after the fact too, but I have a copy handed to me from Matt Fife to hand over to Mr. Brian Lynch. So Mr. Brian Lynch is actually getting his copy tomorrow at the time of this recording.
Oh.
I don't recall. I don't know. I don't remember if he knows that yet, or if that's all I know is that Fife said that I can't keep it. So.
Well, the funny thing about it is I don't even have my comps for #5 yet, so Brian Lynch is going to have a copy of my book before I have copies of my book.
Wow. I thought about reading it, and Brian, you're going to be watching this. I thought about reading that copy to get that a week ahead of time, but I'm not going to compromise that issue. I did see his pinup. Fife flipped it over, so I could I did catch a glimpse of that, but I'm an honest man, and I did not read that comic. So
it's a good issue, man. It's a good issue. It wraps up the first arc. So I know Kirby, he did a review of Happy #4, and he said that he will be excited for this story arc to end and for the next adventure to start.
Okay.
So he will be happy to know that this is the final chapter of that. So
we go.
there's going to be more. Our next book is not a happy astronaut book, but we're not done with happy.
There you go. Cool little tease.
Yeah.
Yeah, hopefully by the next episode recording, it'll be a little closer to getting to talk about it. So
Yeah, I hope so. I'm tired of having to hint around it. I want to share some of this amazing artwork.
there was something too when me and Fife were talking at C2E2. I'm not sure if Fife's going to be able to jump in. He asked how long we're going to be on, so he gave a thumbs up to it. But myself and Fife were at C2E2 2024, and the second time that we have met in person. The first time was C2E2 2023, and
Ooh.
but yeah, it was cool, and we were just casually talking, hanging out with the at the Oh Yeah booths and hanging out there and having a lot of fun. And then I was starting to just casually mention to him about the book that you're talking about, but I caught myself and I stopped because I looked around and I'm just like, I like changed it, like I said a word and then I turned it into another discussion, and it was real smooth. And I'm like, you know what? Normally I'm pretty good at that. I was just kind of hyped up in the moment because I'm used to just talking to Fife, whether it's through text thread or on this very show. So that means there's no like C2E2 Chicago international crowd browsing around. But I kept it tight lipped.
I know we're surrounded by comic book people. Let's talk about your comic book that nobody's allowed to talk about.
Pretty much.
Oops.
Pretty much.
It's all good.
That's funny.
If I were anybody but me, I would be excited to know what it is too. I can tell people though that it is the best art that I have ever done.
Ooh.
Ooh, nice. So
Going
you're very pleased with it then.
going to be a treat. It's funny because Fife will talk about it and be like, "You seem like you're really into it," and I'm like, "I think it's just because it's something different.
Yeah,
Right.
It's like a fresh idea, so it's like, oh man, it's like all that the early project excitement. Like we could do this and this and this and that." But
understand.
happy is my first love. I'm gonna
Good
draw a picture.
to know.
I'm gonna draw a picture of him right now.
Okay, so I'm going back to the questions, making sure we get through everything. We'll probably record for another half hour.
All right.
Yes. Oh,
I said, all right.
okay. I had my head down. I looked up, so I didn't know what just happened. Hey, look, Brian Lynch commented again here. He goes, but he did it on a different social media platform, so he skirted by the very harsh rule that we've started.
Right.
Brian Lynch goes, I love how the show continues to get better and better. Such cool topics discussed by some great people. The art is amazing and the show is awesome. So, not a question, so it counted that he could write in again. So, good. Thank you, Brian Lynch.
They're cruising. They're cruising a thin line here.
We have another question from the Facebook thread here, asking any questions for the Cartoonist by Night gang. And we got a write in from D. Brad Gibson saying, why so serious? I had posted because I was looking for a good screen grab of like all of us just in like from the episode, and every like thing that kept pausing on as I was scrubbing through the YouTube episode just had us just in an unflattering, just like sad, depressing looking, just not how we are looking right now with seeing the laughter and the smiles and the
Those
smile
resting things.
from
Resting
Mr.
face.
Gillman here. But so then all of a sudden I'm just like, oh wait, I'll just go with that as a theme, and I made it all black and white, and then I just said, aren't we thrilled for celebrating 2,000 years of this episode? What?
2000.
I don't know what's going on.
Anthony's having a stroke.
That'll be the last episode of on the feed. Okay, here we go. David Gloyd writes in. David Gloyd, who is from Crimson Cowl Media, from Crimson Cowl Comic Club, my friend, my partner in crime when we go and head out at the Comic Cons and sell our art.
I know that guy.
Yeah. David Gloyd goes, I would like you each to answer the following questions. Who what, when, where, and why?
Oh man.
Okay, start with the first one.
Who? Who is the question?
Me.
Okay, D. Brad, you answer who.
Matt.
I'll answer it as well. Matt as well. Not Fight, but Rodgers.
No.
All right. The next question is what? Rodgers?
Rolf.
D. Brad, what?
The door.
And I'll answer what, and I'll just go, okay. When, Rodgers? When?
Roughly 2 weeks ago, maybe 15 days.
Roughly.
Oh.
Roughly. When, D. Brad? When?
Soon. Very soon.
Oh God, that was a threat.
my answer is similar because well, we're in now. So when are we going to be in? When is then? Soon, coming soon.
Soon.
There's that whole thing in Spaceballs where it's just like,
Oh yeah.
like when is it going to be then? Oh, we just missed it. When? Just now. Where Rogers? Where?
D. Brad's door.
Ah, good
Where?
job.
Where, D. Brad? Where's your door?
Over there.
Over there.
Right there.
It's on the ceiling.
No, right there.
Oh, okay. And my answer for where is under.
Under.
Yep.
Ah, that's a good one.
Yeah. And finally, the last question from David Lloyd in this paragraph, because there's a second paragraph, is why? Why, Matt Rodgers? Why?
Why not?
There you go. Why, D. Brad? Why?
Just because.
Why, Papa?
And my answer to why is, when I was thinking about it, I woke up this morning and I really kind of pondered about it. And I'm just thinking like, this is what it's going to be. And what I'm thinking about talking about is going to be that. And I'm not going to talk about anything else other than what that is going to be. And, when I was really starting to think about it and kind of assess it and kind of compare it with the other thing that I was talking about, and I'm just like, you know what? What was the question? Why? That's why.
And that is why. And that's how I met your mother.
And
I
then
thought that had something to do with a horn.
David Lloyd also says, also, what are each of your very favoritist drawings that you or a guest or a fan have done on the show during the first year? Now, I don't know if this is alluding to it, and it reminded me that in the early episodes we had posted some fan art, and David Lloyd had some Ninja Turtles that we shared on the episode that he had drawn. So maybe that's what inspired it, because he did submit some fan art, and it reminded me that we did that. So,
now
Rodgers, was there any favorite? Say that again.
Now I feel like I have to say I was a big fan of David Lloyd's Ninja Turtles fan art.
That is a great answer to the question. If you had a second favorite, do you have second favorite?
We just lost D. Brad.
Oh, D. Brad didn't want to answer. He didn't want to say. He didn't want to have to.
It all sucks.
I hate this show.
I quit. What kind of Mickey Mouse joint you running around here?
I was hoping Matt Rodgers would say the cartoon ducks from the episode that he was the first on. So there he goes. When you look at my drawing here, based on the lips of the creature, you could think from a certain angle that maybe I'm drawing a duck here.
I would say that's kind of ducky.
Yeah.
I drew a really bad half.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, yeah.
And why is it bad? Just because of is there anything to point out, or it's just because you did it super fast?
I didn't pencil it. I just did inks, and his screen is way too vertical.
Okay.
And his knobs are too big, if you know what I mean.
I don't know what you mean. D. Brad is has asked to come back to the show, so I
Well,
decided.
why'd you let him?
You know, I think he learned his lesson.
I think Brad, he's kind of a diva now. Hey, what's up, D. Brad?
I don't know. I froze and then I got kicked out.
I was gonna point out that you were frozen because it froze you in mid-blink.
Oh yeah.
You were all like for a real long time. It was awesome.
It's just really trying to think of an answer to the question of if he had any favorite art from the from our very show. Anything that jumps out at you?
Oh, I didn't even hear that question.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
One thing I'll say is I think probably the most technically impressive one that I've seen was Scoot, just because of the size of his artwork that he did in the brief amount of time. His Batman thing was
Yeah.
flabbergasting, but that's Scoot for you.
Yeah.
I guess we all just need to hold our pens like freaks.
Yeah. Oh, my phone's off now.
I'm gonna start right now.
As I grab a reference photo, D. Brad, did you have anything that jumped to mind for anything that you remember being a result of the show?
Oh, now it goes the way I wanted it to go. Ugh.
Oh, your screen, your
There we go. All right. Sorry. Are you talking about drawings that
Yep.
were on the show?
Yep. Anything that jumps to mind?
I gotta give it.
The one that jumps to mind most is besides the Scoot one was that pops in my head a lot. Right, like when I'm thinking about it, the first thing was Lavi's Ursula.
Ursula.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
And we'll see that a little later because I have something queued up to show that off. So
Oh,
and
is it like a montage to a memories pressed between the pages of my mind?
it's not an episode of Cartoonist by Night. D. Brad sings something random.
It's a very special episode.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and give it to Scoot. Drawing with your fist is really hard to do.
Yeah.
That's happy with done with a fist.
Oh yeah.
Pretty good.
You know what? I like it.
I dig it.
I don't know why, but drawing with a fist makes everything tilt 45 degrees to the left for me.
Okay.
Oh, I can't see, but I'm drawing. So that's something too.
You gotta hunch over it real good the way that Scoot does.
Oh yeah.
Gets like real over it. But man, what else was there? That Franco's art was really good.
That's what I'm trying to queue up right now, and I've got a lot of portfolios. So I'll have you talk a little bit longer.
I like the Adam Jabba the Hutt scene.
Yeah, his Job at the Hut was really good. Alejandro's gnome drawing was super good.
All right, yeah. The Cocoa Puffs.
Man. What did we draw? What was Brian Lynch was Muppets, that's right. His stuff was really good. Everybody's awesome, man. Except for me on some days.
And then sometimes we don't know exactly what people have drawn until the end of the episode.
Yeah, like when a certain Eric is on an episode. He draws a real good eyeball.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay. I found so I own both of the sketches. So my favorite thing was the thing that was inspired by me loving Madman and then Franco picking Star Wars, and he was inspired by that and just decided like, hey, I'll just do a Madman Jedi. And so I have the his pen sketch there as he kind of roughed it out, and then the finished piece, because it was one of those just being like, yep, I know I'm buying that at when the show ends.
That's cool that you got the pen one. I love seeing the lines that go into it, and
Yeah, I've got a couple good. I already put the portfolio away because, well, here I have a a Franco Surfer original here just because it's in the same portfolio here. But
Right.
I've got a bunch of different pen sketches from Franco, and
He sells those pretty cheap at his tables. Like he usually has a binder full of ballpoint pen sketches that he does.
yeah,
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 that was-
yeah. I've purchased a couple of those. As I kind of gear in for to make sure we get all the questions in.
Yeah.
I think this is where I'm kind of leaving it for right now. It's going to be a lot of post work that I'm going to do for the Gill man. He's just Gill, but going to be a lot of detail work that I just need a little more concentration on.
Oh, my phone's upside down. People think I'm drawing upside down.
That's how good you are.
That's some like Scoot McMahon tactic that you're trying to like throw on us now. All right, I think we answered that question from David Gloyd. Thank you, David, for writing in. Kevin Wolf from Happy Wolf Art. What comic or movies are people looking forward to?
Oh, I liked Kevin's um, how it's turned out at the end with what? How do you when you
Yeah,
mash them together?
Yep.
Characters together?
did the mashup with Garfield and gnomes, my creation of the idea of gnomes, and then mashing up what's going on over here. Oh, he's queuing up for things he's excited for, I think.
I'm queuing up. I'm waiting for you guys to
Okay.
shut up so I can talk to D-Brad.
Well, part of me was just like, did he just draw that? Like, was I watching
No, that's drawn by Frank Miller.
Yeah. Have you seen this? Frank Miller drew a Scrooge cover.
Yeah, so we have Uncle Scrooge and the Infinity Dime, I think it's called.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's coming out. We're going to be talking about that on the Crimson Cowl Comic Club as a club discussion. We got several of us that are buying into that one shot. Should be a lot of fun. So check out Crimson Cowl Comic Club over on YouTube and subscribe to the audio on iTunes. We're going to review that when it's out. So is that your answer, Rogers, for excited? What you're excited for? Or did you just randomly post? Okay,
I'm excited for Free Comic Book Day tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
that's
Gotta
right.
bring up the FCBD. Yeah, you got it right.
Yep.
I'm excited for that. I haven't even looked to see what the free titles are. I'm just going into it and getting some good stuff. I'm excited to grab that EC Comics thing. I think it's awesome, and I think it's criminal that that company has not hired Francesco to do all their covers
Oh yeah.
because he
Yeah,
would be
he'd
the
be-
perfect cover artist for that. I just hope that they make it feel and look like old EC down to the fonts for lettering because EC had that very technical font that they used for all their lettering. I've seen
Yeah,
the
I have
tool that was
Yeah,
used.
I have that letter. I have that lettering. It came with one of my lettering things I got from that retro package.
Yeah, it's called Son of Tomb, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, I use. But have you ever seen the actual tool that they used to do the hand lettering back in the day?
No.
It was
Oh.
like it was this big contraption that had basically they were stencils for each letter. And you had
Oh,
a
wow.
stylus that would go in the stencil, but then it had an arm that came off of it that actually wrote it down on the paper.
Oh yeah.
It was a real weird lettering system. I can't remember the name of it, but it was wild to see. Um, that's the only thing that I know that is coming out is that. Um, basically, I'm just going to the comic shop to load up on stuff because my place is doing a 25% off sale. So,
Yeah.
I've got to show off one thing real quick. I got to go get it.
For Free Comic Book Day, I'll be at Oh Yeah Comics in beautiful downtown Skokie, and excited to make my return there and pick up my drawing board that I left there back in October of 2023.
I thought you've been there since then.
No, I haven't, and once it gets into winter and work and stuff, things get busy, and then just whatever. But so yeah, it's a triumphant return. I'm excited to return, hang out. Got to hang out with the Oh Yeah Comics guys at C2E2 and everything, so I'm excited to hang out with more of the Skokie people and celebrate that. And we have the Santos Sisters creators. We have them coming. They have them coming. The Santos Sisters creators. Maria Wolf is there. Kyle Fenrich's going to be there. There's a lot of fun stuff happened, but that's what I'm excited for. Rogers, you got what you were getting?
Yeah, it finally came. It is the Hip Hop Family Tree
Mm.
Omnibus.
Ooh, look at that, shiny.
It is 500 pages,
Ooh,
and it is the entire run of Ed Piskor's Hip Hop Family Tree, and then it has like 140 extra pages. And the cool thing that he did has all your normal stuff like cover gallery and stuff, but he has kind of like the equivalent of a director's commentary in here,
Mm.
where he goes in page by page and just writes stuff like page 14, panel 1, and he just writes a description of something cool that happened, and he does that for like the entire book.
oh,
He has there's like an index so you can see exactly where people show up, but he has this section in here called roll call, and he drew a portrait for every character
Mm.
that's in the book.
It's like a
Like
yearbook
a,
type of thing.
yeah, like a little headshot for everybody involved.
fun.
And the gold foil really pulls it. It's like probably the best omnibus I've ever seen. It's just
Very
so
nice.
fancy. So that's something cool.
D. Brad, any like movies or comics that you're excited for?
I'm excited for the new Planet of the Apes movie.
Yeah.
I just
Can't wait.
rewatched the latest three with my oldest daughter again.
So
With
I have a
Caesar.
question that's
Yep.
fresh in your mind.
Mhm.
During the first one, the
Yep.
James Franco one,
Yep.
there is a scene in the background on a television that is Charlton Heston's crew
Yeah.
leaving on their trip.
Yeah.
So are we meant to believe that that is happening at the same time? Like,
I
is it
think
a sequel or is it like happening? Does it coincide with the
I don't
first
know.
film?
It could just be an Easter egg.
Right. I always thought that was so weird. I was like, but this is so clearly in like the year 2005.
Yeah.
Charlton Heston is obviously in the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Here I got my Charlton Heston autographed postcard I sent him.
Ooh. Did you pry it out of his cold, dead hands?
No, he was alive.
His warm, alive hands.
Yes. And then he signed a picture of himself too, and he signs in calligraphy like Moses.
Oh, geez.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's
If
like, I
this
got another
episode,
autograph. This is going to take forever.
if this if this episode comes out a little later than normal, it's because I'm watching that new movie, so I'm going to be
Oh, yeah.
watching every Planet of the Apes starting Monday. So
I'm doing the same thing. I got my box set. It's the
Yeah, same.
Legacy Collection.
I'm watching the first one again now too.
Got Planet, Beneath, Escape, Conquest, and Battle for. I've only ever seen the first one and then the new trilogy.
And the battle one, there's if you have it on Blu-ray, there's two versions of it.
Yeah, it says there's an unrated version.
Yeah, it's the original cut was a little too violent, they thought, and so they did some recuts,
Huh.
and recuts involved some overdubbing so that Caesar says something different, and then also they had to reverse the film a little bit so that he doesn't do the final violent act.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Weird.
yeah.
Excited. Can't wait. Can't wait. It's gonna be so good.
Well, that's not that one's the second to last one.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that one had this one says that there's a unrated version of Conquest and Battle for.
Okay, yeah, and battle. Okay,
And it's
yeah,
weird because they're all rated G except for Conquest is rated PG.
yeah, yeah. Which is a different kind of rating back then than it is
Yeah,
now.
because they didn't even have PG-13 because Gremlins and Indiana Jones hadn't ruined kids' minds yet.
Yeah. And then Red Dawn was the first PG-13 movie.
It's awesome. Red Dawn's so good. That remake was so crap.
Yeah, I never saw the remake.
No. Just don't do it.
One comic, it's actually a collection. I'm excited that comes out in summer. I think it's scheduled for June or July, but they've been doing for the last couple of years, doing 2 a year of the Mad Maniverse library from Michael and Laura Allred, and collecting all of their creator-owned stories, which all exist within the Madman universe. And I have all this stuff in single issue and everything, but then they do these oversized collections. There's some of the original late 80s, early 90s stuff that was only in black and white that are colored for the first time. But volume 6 comes out this summer, and I'm especially excited because it does have some of those harder to find out of print. Again, I have those singles, but it has that stuff in there for collected for the first time, including X-Ray Robot, which is my comic book cameo in issue
Oh,
number
yeah?
3. So the fact that I get to be collected with like all of his like work from the start of his career and stuff too. So anytime I can just buy my cameo in yet another format, I'm so excited. So
Can we see it?
He can't wait for the Happy Astronaut trade.
yeah, I'm gonna buy 70 of them. Can you see it? Is that what you said, D. Brad?
Yeah.
I can put it in post because that one will be collected in the volume 6 coming out in summer. This was volume 5 here, so I can't physically.
Oh.
I would have to tear something off the wall to be able to get to it at the moment. But
Get it.
I do have a book I'm excited about coming out.
and what book?
Hardcover collection of Dwellings.
Yes, Jay Stevens.
Jay Stevens, yeah.
Yeah, I think
Right.
we were talking about that in our chat, and I'd gotten some issues through. I think it was through Zoop. I forget, either Kickstarter or Zoop, but yeah, then they've been doing that, and I think Pal, a guy that I had on Crimson Cowl, Winston Gambro, I think he did some treatment on that book just for like the presentation. He does some work with that company and gets to like design like some of the collections and stuff like that. I don't know, but anyways, yeah,
Dwelling's the one that looks like Harvey Comics,
yeah.
Yes.
right? Okay, yeah,
But then it's all like horror stories.
that's awesome.
But
The
yeah,
only problem that I have when they do those big collections, like the ones, the Madman stuff, it's like I usually find out that I'm interested in something like that when they're up to like number 7 or 8.
mm,
And like finding the first handful is super hard or
yeah,
really expensive. It's like I want to
Yeah.
read Savage Dragon,
Yeah.
but then it's like he's on like volume 42. You know what I mean? So I'm just like, never mind.
yeah.
But yeah, like that's the problem I ran into with Usagi Yojimbo. I was like, oh man, I have one right here. This is volume 3, but they're putting out these nice big thick
Yeah.
paperbacks.
They're on their second print now of those, so they're easy to get now.
Yeah, I have 6 or 7 of them. And I
Mhm.
remember picking up number 1, and it was the only one in the comic shop. And I was all like, man, I can't wait to buy these as they come out. And I looked at his store, and they were up to like volume 14.
Yeah. Yeah, I have all those Saga ones except the Legends one. By the time I waited too long to get it, and then they're all sold out. And as soon as they sell out, the price goes super high, right?
Yeah.
Then I heard that they were doing a second printing of everything, so I had to wait again. So I better quickly grab it because it's out now.
Mm.
Because that's the only one I needed for that collection.
Yeah, you better hurry. You
Yeah.
better hurry.
I better hurry.
And I know Mad Maniverse Volume 6, when that comes out, it's going to sell out because I pre-ordered 3,000 copies of that hardcover. Then, so
Yeah.
I did picked up they started doing trades for EC stuff.
Oh, neat.
But the only part about it that I don't like is that they've all been recolored
Oh,
or maybe just colored. And like it doesn't fit like the art style, I don't think.
Mhm. They
It's
were
just-
colored. They were colored originally.
Or they, okay, then yeah, they're all like redone. Like I
But-
got volume 2 of Vault of Horror.
Oh, those are the
Pretty
comics that got comic books in trouble back in the day.
They were
Getting into the comic
rotting
code and all that.
children's
Yeah.
brain. Yeah, it's pretty cool. It has a bunch of cool stuff in it. It also doesn't have dates, which is a little. It has. Okay, here we go. Vault of Horror number 19 from of 1951.
1951.
Yeah, so it has like comics from the 50s in here. Just a bunch of cool stuff. I got a science one and a horror one. I love the covers. They're iconic. Super
Cool.
sick.
Well,
I'm
speaking of covers, I got a lot of covers to show off because this is going to be advertising basically as a thank you to the guest on Cartoonist by Night over this past year. We did roughly a half a year of episodes with just the crew as we kind of finding the groove of the show. And then our first guest, we brought on Franco. Franco, we talked about Star Wars, but I wanted to plug. I have an item here for each of our guests to kind of plug them. And then in post, I'll put the information where you can check out their websites and go to their online stores and Patreons and all that kind of stuff. So, Franco, one of the most recent releases was Teen Titans Go to the Library. An awesome, awesome collection stories here, just done through bunch of different art styles, mostly Franco doing it, and you just see the talent. This is like a perfect example of what Franco can do, both in writing and art. So I'm a huge fan of that. He was also on the show to talk about. I don't think it was out at the time, but it goes into the next one. Super fun altogether. Cactus and Liz is the first issue of this. They've confirmed that they are working on a second issue. But yeah, super fun on all together. This is an awesome comic available through his shop and everything like that, as well as Oh Yeah Comics. Him and his son Nick were the writers on this, and the artist of this book is Eric Wolfgang, who is also a guest on this very show to show off some work from him. I assume it's still up on his website, but he was offering this option where he has a bunch of blank sketch covers that all have like the title treatment on it. And basically, you can commission that by selecting one of the covers, but that's where the selection ends. And he basically just kind of chooses what he's doing with that cover. It's obviously going to be related to whatever the book that he's drawing, but there's really no direction. It's just kind of trusting in the artist. So I had ordered this Harley Quinn Invades Comic Con International San Diego back in the new 52 days sketch cover, and I just got this in the mail, and here was a Harley Quinn one that he whipped up. So yeah, I didn't know what it was going to be until I opened it up. So as far
surprise?
as far as the content or the style and the jokes and all that kind of stuff, and
The
then
really cool thing about that is that for the first like couple of days, it was just two eyeballs.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, which is weird because Harley doesn't even have eyeballs, so they just like
Yeah,
it's amazing what he can do.
he's so good.
But and then also on his website, at the time of this recording, maybe he'll turn it off for commissions, but they're the smaller commissions, the sketch card commissions that he does on these colored papers.
Wow.
And I had asked for a creature from the Black Lagoon, so here is by Eric Wolfgang. So once again, just kind of advertising him, past guest on this very episode to talk about what he does.
While his art is a lot better, I overcompensated by making my commission for you way bigger.
Yes, yeah. Much bigger, but you know what? I love them both the same because they're both awesome. And I will, if you want to send me that money back that I sent you earlier, then we're even. So.
Yeah, it's all good. We'll get it.
Brian Lynch, Hot Wing of Justice, check him out, doing a bunch of stuff with Harold and his Hot Wing of Justice, as well as The Pumpkin Project. This was an awesome book that some of us from Cartoonist by Night partook in. That's not a jab at Matt Rodgers or anything like that. But you know what? Maybe down the road there will be some other opportunity. We're hoping. We're crossing the fingers that maybe something will happen. But Brian Lynch, go follow Hot Wing of Justice. He was on for the Muppets episode. And we mostly have our guests choose the topic, so it's always fun too, bringing them on and having them choose that direction. But check out Brian Lynch and his Hot Wing of Justice with the social media links below. Lavi chose Disney villains for an episode, and D. Brad mentioned the Ursula, which I do have a mini print for, so you can watch that episode as we draw and discuss Disney villains. I bought a lot of stuff from her online shop. So once again, links on the bottom here. That way, I don't have to edit myself if I say the wrong website and such. And I started realizing, well, I'm just going to give her own little portfolio. So I had some stickers from her shop as well that I put
Fun.
up so that way I know this is the Lavi book right here. But yeah, she's got a bunch of awesome work, including her the webcomic Deck Kingdom. So check that out, subscribe, and Patreon, and all that fun stuff. I was going to cut to my two favorite pieces that she's done. I bought these in mini prints. We showed this off in the episode. There's some glare there, but and some natural glow from her art style there. So love those there. So that's some examples there from Lavi. Adam Crone came on. We didn't have a specific topic, otherwise just talking about him mostly, and talking about the books and the cartoons and the characters that he does on his channel. He's really been doing some awesome tutorial work on his YouTube channel. I love the editing work and the narration and the explanation. Such awesome stuff. I love watching those, and he's been doing a decent amount of those. Over on his shop, he's got a series of 3D glasses. He loves doing that with his style, slapping some 3D glasses on mostly the 80s characters and stuff that he's been drawing. Here's the Garfield print that I have. And then he's got his Muji Goom based off of his animals, beloved dogs and cat, and work that he's prepping himself for, drawing these characters, drawing his loved ones, and wanting to make doing a storybook and create a book surrounding these lovable pets of his. So that is Adam Crone. Check that out. Kevin Wolf, Happy Wolf Art. We talked about his story and To Fight a Hessian, and talking about these short stories and comics, and going through his entire career, seeing a lot of cool examples of work that he had from his junior college days and high school days and stuff like that. And at the time of this recording, he's officially released The California Kids. We were just amping up into plugging that on the episode. So reach out to Kevin Wolf from Happy Wolf Art. And I already placed an order to get some of the California Kids there. So I'm excited to check out that next project. I think that one is mostly prose. I think there's some art that is kind of weaved in between there. Scoot McMahon, I wanted to talk about Batman the Animated Series, so it was fun hanging out with Scoot as we watched him draw 600 characters during our 2-hour episode, all from Batman the Animated Series. Want to advertise Agents of Slam, such an awesome book there from Oni Press. But Agents of Slam working with Dave Scheid, and then Scoot's work, Sammy the Samurai Squirrel. So I'm just kind of picking some of the things that I was just going to highlight. Go to those episodes to see everything as we cover their career and all of their awesome stuff. Speaking of awesome stuff, Alejandro Rosado, who is Alley Cat? This is a brand new. I think he just put it up on his web store at the time of this recording, as long as copies are still available. But it was a C2E2 2024 release for Alley Cat Road Rage, and the story of this book coming together, kind of resulting out of a very sad thing that happened within the comic industry, that fueling him to make some comics. And I forget the actual page count, but it was like a Matt Rodgers-esque, like, crazy number of just like drawing all of these pages in a short amount of days, and all of a sudden he printed it, and here's a comic book that he had. So it was a pretty quick turnaround. And so yeah, this as long as there's quantities available, should be available up on his web store. But once again, this is recording in advance, so everything is subject to change based on availability. So that was a quick round of kind of plugging all of the guests that we had on this very show. It was very awesome to reach out to them, for them to be excited to make room in their schedule to hang out with us. We have a lot of exciting things for year 2 planned, but joining us with year 2, Now, people will see this in the final video because it was in the opening credits. It's something that we've talked about, and it's probably not so much a well-kept secret anymore. But when we invited D. Brad Gibson onto the show, his selection, his topic of choice was cartoon ducks, and that was definitely a lot of fun going through that. And having him on and hanging out and having that same sensibility of coming from the Oh Yeah fandom and all the things that we talk about and draw and love and everything about it, we all seem to kind of mesh pretty well. And I think it was Troy was the first one in our private group chat of just saying, like, yeah, he's D. Brad's kind of like the fifth Beatle. It was really cool hanging out with him, and he should be on the show. And so then we had extended that invite to D. Brad Gibson, and I was a stickler for wanting to like kind of complete year one, season one, just to kind of keep things even. So we've had D. Brad Gibson as a guest star on the show for several episodes now, a couple months, but it is officially time to announce that D. Brad Gibson is indeed a Cartoonist by Night, an official member. So no longer will you see special guest star D. Brad Gibson. You'll see his title card in the opening credits there. So
Yay!
thank you for waiting out this. Thank you for waiting out this rough audition process to not only accept the invite, but then to have to just exist as a guest star months after accepting that invite, just so I could just keep things on the book, just being like, yep, year one is this, year two is this. So
no problem.
Don't make us regret it.
Future Anthony can just delete that title card.
Send me the contract.
But and also because I had already kind of completed this and didn't want to have to draw one, and so we see this in the opening credits of when I drew the original four members of Cartoonist by Night: myself, Matt Rodgers, Matt Fife, and Troy Dungera, stylized in a Charles Schultz peanut style, and so I figured it'd be kind of cool to do like have a cast drawing every single year. And I don't know if that's something that I'm just going to do or if somebody else wants to jump into it. It'd be kind of fun.
Right.
It's kind of fun to see other people's like, all right, year one, Anthony drew it. Year two, so-and-so drew it.
Make the new guy do it.
Yeah. Basically as the years go on, well, not that we're adding a member every single year, but I was just thinking like, man, the guy that has to do it next has to draw more characters. But I thought that was just kind of a cool thing to kind of commemorate as we go through. And so that's why I made sure D. Brad was going to be official year two cast member status. But when I met Matt Fife again at C2E2, I had printed some of these cards out and I signed one for him and he signed this one here for me. And then I have some for Rodgers and Troy as well to eventually get us all to each have signed copies of this basically for little personal keepsakes, and then maybe I'll scan in a version. It'll be kind of cool to make millions off of it from all of the fans. Yeah. So, anyways, that is kind of overall just kind of going over the guest, including D. Brad, welcoming him officially into year two status.
It's been fun.
Speech.
Speech, so I can take this way.
All right. Well, yeah, no, I enjoyed watching the show and I would draw along with it. And then I think you said I could be a guest sometime.
Yeah, yep.
And then you invited me to be a guest. And then the next time you needed me to fill in. And so I got to do it twice in a row. And then
yeah.
I think after that one, then you guys invited me to officially join.
Yeah, I know. In our episodes were just spiking, and we were trying to figure out if it was the D. Brad bump, or if it was, or we had an ad in the Santos sisters, because they're both happening at the same time. But it's just like, man, we got to keep having D. Brad on because now we're getting 500, 600 views for these episodes.
Because it was about ducks.
Yeah, that might have been it too. Maybe a combination of all three, but yeah, it was. I remember that second time being a pretty like last minute thing where somebody had dropped out and then we're just like, oh wait, let's reach out to D. Brad, and then he jumped in right away, and then it became a regular thing. And I personally love seeing that at the end when you see our credits in the opening intro, and then you just see and D. Brad Gibson as himself. I always love seeing that in any kind of like television credit and stuff. So I had a lot of fun doing that, but it's time to retire that because you had an awesome title card that you drew, and that's
Yeah.
definitely awesome to have. So.
Is that going to be on this one?
Yep. People will see that. I think that'll be so everyone will have seen it by now. And if you missed it, if your head was down or you're gonna go to the kitchen and get a plate of cheese and crackers or something, you got to go back to the beginning of the episode and check out that title card.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Who does the theme music?
that is Matt Rodgers. I want to talk about that.
Ooh, yeah, I like that. It's really good. I love it.
So I got super into home recording before I started doing comic books, and
Oh yeah.
that was music that I was working on that was
Oh,
sitting on a hard drive. And then
oh,
Anthony was like, "Do you have any of that music that I can use?" So I think I did sent you 3 or 4 songs,
Yeah.
and then that's the one that he picked.
oh.
It felt like it went in pretty good, and I'm trying to think if I used any of the other stuff or any other little things because now that I have those at my disposal, it's good to kind of
I
clip them
think the
out.
end credits song is a separate,
Okay, yeah.
is another one. Yeah, it was all done like with the idea that I plan to do eventually, but not anytime soon. But basically, I had this thing where I was like, you know, you got Scooby Doo as a group of people that go around and solve mysteries. So I was
Yeah.
like, how about I do a comic book about a punk band,
Ah.
and their catch is that they do like supernatural tours, and like each tour would be enough to eventually put together like a trade. I'd have like a flyer made up to look like an old punk flyer. And then basically the way I was going to do it was each issue would come, you'd be able to get like a little 7-inch record that would have that song on
Hmm.
it. So each issue would end with them performing and it would have the song. And then so when you bought that issue, you would also get the record. And then by the time I got to the point where I would have a trade, then I'd be able to put out like a 12-inch record that had all the songs on it. And then I just never did it because that's a lot of work. And also, vinyl is very expensive to get pressed.
And I
Right.
think Matthew Rosenberg is the one that did that for one of his independent titles, where there was a variant cover that had a record, a small vinyl or something. So
Yeah, like I think they call them flexies. Like basically, like you can take the cover and put it on a record player and play it. There's a band called Pup that they put out periodical things they call the Pup Zine,
Yeah.
and they come with flexies, and they're just like really, really badly pressed plastic that you can play on a record player.
Yeah, they used to have records that were on the boxes of cereal.
I have
Yeah.
some.
Yeah.
I have some right here that I wouldn't be able to reach out, but I have the Archie ones, and I've got I've got 2 Archie ones, and I think I have like a Sugar Bear one or something, some other kind of.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Did you
that was
ever
a customer friend of mine has a lot, and he knew I was into that, and he gifted those to me one time at work. So
Yeah. I have a record that came with one of my Bloom County collections in the 80s by Billy and the Boingers. It's called You You Stink, But I Love You.
rude?
wow, sounds like a
What's
Weird
up?
Al song too. So a lot of
It
Weird
does.
Al songs are romantic, but are then the opposite of a romantic song.
Yeah.
I've decided that I totally forgot about this, but I think we could all band together to try to make it happen. We should spend 2024 should be the year that we hardcore campaign to get Weird Al in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
There we go.
He
All right,
deserves it, man.
I'll do it. I've seen him over 25 times in concert, so I'm definitely down
Oh,
to. Yeah.
wow.
I've never seen him, but he still deserves it.
Well, I've seen
And
him enough for everybody, so it's all right.
Yeah. I have some of his albums. I I remember writing down all the words to the song so I could memorize them, like "Eat It." Why are you always such a? Oh, one second.
I saw his movie. It was a very compelling biopic.
Oh yeah. Have you seen UHF as well?
Oh yeah. Special City. UHF is like one of those movies that I watched it so much, and my friends group, we all watched it so much when we were kids. And it's a movie that barely anybody has ever seen.
No, yeah.
And it was like such an integral part of my youth that it just I can't comprehend people not knowing that movie.
Yeah,
Right.
I introduced that to a lot of my friends because I'm just like I I knew it right away just for being hardcore Weird Al, and a lot of that came from my brother Adam too, with a pretty big music guy and everything. So a lot of my music.
Have you ever had a Twinkie Wiener sandwich?
I have actually. Myself and two friends of mine, we tried them, and so we'll have a Twinkie, a Hostess Twinkie, slice it open like a hot dog bun, put in a boiled hot dog or whatever hot dog of your choice, as far as straight out of the fridge or boiled or cooked, whatever, grilled, and then you just top it with some cheddar cheese, some sprayed cheddar cheese. That seems like a great combo of three things, right? So
Mhm.
all three of us, we each made one. We bit into the Twinkie Wiener sandwich at the same time. We're all like kind of agreeing of being like, oh, this ain't that bad. But then the taste of the hot dog sunk in. And that's when we all ran to garbage cans and sinks and spit it out. And yeah, I don't think I would ever try that again. But that first bite was not too bad, even though it's kind of weird of like, Hostess Twinkie filling and cheddar cheese. But it was just like,
Yeah.
oh, this ain't. And then the beef
Meat.
hot dog came in. And
Yeah.
it was like, okay, we're done.
Yeah. Maybe it would be better with pork.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I don't. Well, I'll also say this: it probably wasn't a good idea to buy like a 50-cent package of hot dogs from Walmart. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe
man, you
some
gotta go
right
Hebrew.
spices.
great value it maybe have been, but that's where the
Man, you gotta go with the Hebrew National on that.
that's where it is.
That's the best hot dog in the world.
I think I have some of those when they're in the. They have the like the pretzel dogs.
Oh yeah.
Pretzel dogs are good. Anyways, the reason why I may have talked fast and rushed, I'm going to have a heart out. We're going to wrap up the show here because
Okay.
busy weekend ahead with all this stuff will be over when people see this, but free comic book day. Um, Going to Skokie. Matt's out there running around. Free comic book days that exist in Canada.
Yep.
Yep. So cool. I wasn't sure if that was actually, I don't know if I ever knew that, if it was a worldwide thing or not, but
Well, it's in Canada and the US for sure.
there we go. And then the next day I'm going to Madison, Wisconsin for Mighty Con, myself and David. And but then just if I edit and release this on time, I might be busy next week. We'll see how it goes. But Matt Fife and Matt Rodgers have their convention. What's that one called again?
Muncie Comic Con.
It's the Comic Con, yeah.
It's in Muncie, Indiana, home of Bob Ross, and a bunch of cool people are going to be there. It's put together by the Oh Yeah shop in Muncie.
Oh.
Christy Blanche, or is she Christy or Christina? Edit that out so I don't look like a jerk.
I think it's both. I think if you,
Right.
depending on how you know.
Okay, I've never met her. Ms. Blanche.
There you go.
Yeah, a bunch of cool people are gonna be there. The big name I've seen is Gavin Smith of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yes.
He's a great artist. He's working on one of the reboot titles.
Cool.
I think he's the artist for Black, White, and Green. Is that the title of one of the books? I think that's what he's doing. Interiors, not just covers, because he did some cover work for The Last Ronin
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
spin-off stuff. So yeah, I'm super excited about that. That's on the 11th of May.
And all that information is before and after the show. And depending on my schedule or not, if you watch this episode and you're in that area or something, maybe there's time to go get it. But we've been promoting it as well. So, but when we come back with another episode, we'll probably have some, some tales. And I want to talk about C2E2 with Fife on the show because there's some things that was cool that was all yeah related that we got to participate in just at the convention level. That was a lot of fun. So that'll lead to some good stories. But yeah, I think that'll do it. That is a 1 year anniversary special, and Matt Rodgers is queuing up a logo there to kind of finish up the show. But yeah, thank you guys for joining us tonight. Unfortunately, we didn't have Matt Pfeiffer, Troy Dungara, but we will book them again for another episode. Even after I scolded Fife in that C2E2 post, and
Right.
he got too scared, and then yeah. But
You guys need to make.
we'll be back again. This was an awesome episode. We have some awesome guests lined up, people that have said yes. So once we cycle through those guests and get all the schedules to align, I'm very excited for what we can accomplish in year 2 of Cartoonist by Night. And we're going to end this episode like how we ended the first couple episodes of this very program on YouTube by saying that the sun is starting to come up over there. So I guess it's time to get back to our day jobs.
Yeah.
I have to slow it down so I don't say the J Dobbs like I did for that first episode.
J Dobbs.
What?
He's the main competitor of D-Brad, J Dobbs.
You got it. Can't get the thing closed.
Shamrock shakes are a beautiful green, the most beautiful green that you've ever seen.